Hello, good morning. This is Alberta. Welcome back to my channel, Politics in Plain English. And today I will be discussing the Roman games versus today's entertainment. How are they alike or different? Well, let's see. Thinking back in ancient Rome, we find the conditions there pretty similar to the way people are today. The Roman people had a rich class and they had a poor class. Now, being rich, you could live virtually anywhere you wanted to. You didn't have to be surrounded in the city. You could go out to the countryside. You didn't have to have the smells and things that were accompanied with the city life. You had peace and quiet, and you lived in luxury. Okay, but the poor people, how did they live? Well, according to the information I've collected, the poor people actually lived in squalor. Their houses were shabby, and there was a good opportunity where you could have fires that would collapse the houses, or they were so shabby they would just fall apart and people would die and what have you. And this caused a lot of problems. Some people, the poor people, which made up the majority of the people, they would protest, and they would take their protests to the government. And when they took their protests there, they actually were met, with the government for entertainment. They wanted to give them something to do instead of worrying about how bad their condition was. So one of the emperors actually came up with the idea of these Roman games. And when these Roman games came about, they actually ended up lasting like 123 days. In these games, there were all different types of things that could have been done. You had, of course, the gladiator games, and if you've ever seen the movie Gladiators, that was perfect example of what they did in the gladiator games. It was virtually just one man killing the other. And interesting enough, when it first started out, it was not a big sport or anything like that. It was just one of the gladiators, if they had died, they would be taken to be buried. And at the burial site, the other gladiators that were alive, to honor the one that had died, they would fight to the death. And so this little small incident grew and grew until it became a huge sport at the Amphitheatre. Also, the Romans had fights with animals. They would have these exotic animals. They would put them in cages, starve them to death, and then when they're so hungry, they go out and fight and kill the other animals. A lot of animals became extinct because of this. So, with all of these chariot games and what have you, that was the least violent, but it was very dangerous for the people who participated, because going around and around in that circle, I'm pretty sure you've seen the movie Ben-Hur. That was an excellent example of how people got killed in these games. Even in matter of fact, the making of Ben-Hur, one of the people got killed in the making of the movie. So all of this is to contrast with what we have today. Now, we don't have 123 days of entertainment. We have endless hours of entertainment that we can be involved in because we have television. And if you have television, you can also watch movies. We have all kinds of things to distract us, just like the ancient Roman people did. They had things to distract them, so you didn't worry about government. So getting back to us today, what kind of sports do we have? Kind of similar. We do have football and we do have boxing, but we have other things that are maybe not so violent. We have basketball and what have you. But virtually, we have 1,000,001 channels where you can pick and choose whatever it is that you like to keep you entertained. Also, we have those people who were just like the rich back in Rome, ancient Rome, that wanted to control the people. Well, we have a government, or had a government for 8 years especially, who wanted to involve more and more government in your life so that you would be controlled. Now, what will the government control? Well, first of all, the government gives out free phones. Free phones. Everybody likes something free, so they give you a free phone. They also give you welfare. That if you can't qualify for a job or whatever, you don't have anything, you go get welfare. Food stamps or EBT cards they have. Go get your food free. Public housing. You can go get public housing. Everything is designed to appease the masses who are not well educated or whatever. And by the way, this was I learned in a sociology class many years ago that they when they make the newspaper, they actually make it on a 6th grade level. I wonder why. Most of the people who are reading the newspaper, who don't read the newspaper anymore, but when they tell the news or whatever, they put it on a very basic level, so a 6th grader would be able to understand this. So, in doing all of this, the government, if they were to have more involvement in government, if the government decides that you, American citizen, are no longer desirable, that they don't want you around, if they control the purse strings of food that goes into your mouth, then they can control you whether you live or die. And even Bill Gates has said that he thought it was a scary thing to have too many robots, because that would eliminate people. And surprise, surprise, that's one of the things that was on the Obama's agenda. They want to get all these people together, the poor people. They really don't need you anymore. Come in with all these third world people and just destroy this land. And we'll have robots come in and take over because we don't need people. So you can actually see this is a very dangerous approach. But just to let you know, to beware that there is some good entertainment, because I do watch television, I go on the internet, but you have to be careful about being so busy and so entertained by so many things that you can't think. And people are not reading books like they used to. We need to get back to reading the books. We need to go back to school to learn something, and not just go in there to school like they have at these college campuses to shut down people's thoughts. School was a place where you could go to express your thoughts. So anyway, I just want you to know I appreciate you watching my videos, and please keep subscribing and passing it on. I appreciate it. Thank you.